Okay. Don't know what just happened there. And here we go. Welcome to today's Colors of the Night Challenge stream. As with everything, first things first, gotta pose the rules. Gonna have a little sip. I'm a thirsty bee today. Okay, I'm gonna stop zoning out for half a second here. So, as I was saying, welcome to the stream. We're simply going to be doing some sketch cards today. As per the prompts that we got yesterday and a couple this morning, actually, because I had to announce the prompts a little later than usual. Because yesterday we had a Smack Directs. Smack stands for Super Mario Adventures Continued. We were announcing. It's on my YouTube anyway. You can't really miss it. It's the video with the big, bright yellow thumbnail. And of course, we also announced the Driven Miss Daisy comic dub. That was fun. If I were you, I'd go look at the direct, and then, because I put the link directly into the description of the video of the direct, to go watch the Driven Miss Daisy comic dub. Super funny, super good. Great job, hyper voice acting, and all his crew. Now back to me! And as usual, we are going to tell you, finally, what colors we're going to be using this Saturday. The prompts for this month were pink, E24798, yellow, D8CD52, and green, 54B84A. And the colors I decided to use, because I tend to eyeball them, for pink, I picked RV25 Dog Rose Flower. For yellow, Y15 Blurry. Can you guys see? Kinda, sorta. There we go. Cadmium Yellow. And YG09 Lettuce Green. We're going to be working with some very bright colors this month. Hi, Coco! As soon as I get a grip on these, there we go. And for the chameleon, the pink is PK5 Fuchsia. I cannot write fuchsia. I'm looking at my notes, and the C kind of turned into some sort of sideways W. I don't know what happened there. Y02, as soon as I find the code, Y02 Mellow Yellow, and YG3 Spring Meadow. Anybody knows what's going on with Chameleon right now? They've been reworking their website, and they haven't answered my emails. I can't seem to find anything about the liners anymore, and I know that one of my liners is dried up, so I'm a little worried about that. But anyway, other than that, let's get started. I went outside this morning, so I still got my shirt on. It's a reversible Mickey Mouse shirt. So I expect the stream to be cease and desisted in about 5 minutes. Just because I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. Most of the prompts today, they're going to be nice and easy. At least I think so. There's just one that's going to be like very detail oriented. Disney has its own goons for that. Soon they'll come busting in like SWAT. FBI, open up! I've been, because I bought it on the eShop, because it was on special, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, and like absolutely zero regrets, because now I can actually see that some of these models actually had eyes. Kero-chan, I think. You are correct, it is indeed Kero-chan. I figured at least like this while hugging one of his many loves. Be it cakes, cookies, or chocolate. I would get to use the other colors. Since, as we all know, if we were female presenting growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, is from Cardcaptor Sakura. But I believe now, or is it over then? I completely lost track of time. They made a new series called the Clear Cards and stuff like that. I've watched Cardcaptor Sakura in French, so trust me when I say that when I saw the English dub, I was incredibly confused. Like, one episode was enough, thank you very much. Like, the States are weird. A lot of the censorship that happened in the States did not happen in France, which is where I got my anime. Like, I've seen shit. All those times that Goku and Gohan magically had a leaf covering them, which, that kind of censorship, yeah, I can get behind. No pun intended. But, like, when... like during one of the tournaments, when Goku would lose his clothes and then only had a fundoshi on, however it's pronounced, then he would lose that fundoshi, then suddenly magically get a pair of tidy whities, which covered more than the fundoshi. So yeah, I've seen my share of Goku and Gohan peen. Same goes for the manga. I got the manga in French. I'm gonna do his liner in pink, or else his details are going to be completely lost. Or should I do them in green? But I really wanted to do them in pink though. I'm gonna lower the intensity on that light a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, hopefully. At worst, I'll just move my light down here. There we go. And this is why I have a flexible light. I've got all my lights on, by the way. I got this flexible one, and I got the one on the side of my desk, and I even got my top one. Because of course I can't trust the light coming in from the window. Because I know if I do the line art in yellow, Kero is going to disappear. But Kero himself, I can do in yellow. Even when it's a simple design, I would always recommend to have a reference. Even if it's a simple design, even if it's your own character, make a reference and keep it near. And if you want to argue with me, don't. It is not a rule. It is a suggestion to make your life easier. Artists should not have to struggle / suffer for their art. It is a stupid concept that should die. I don't know why there's so many concepts about work that glorifies having to suffer and hate your life. That idea is completely stupid and asinine. You are allowed to enjoy life, even when you work. You shouldn't have to make your job harder to please somebody's idea of what your job is like. Well, I'm gonna hang up Kero and go for the next prompt while he dries, because this is what we do each and every time. We usually do 4 cards, and this month I only got 4 prompts, so I feel that was perfectly timed. Another thing I like about these blind prompts, because like I could choose the subjects myself, but one, these prompts is my way of giving the fans a little thank you treat for following me. But it also makes me draw characters I wouldn't think of drawing by myself. I have few fandoms, so I would stick to always the same types of characters every time. So this really pushes me, and it's fun. Well, I think it's fun anyway. Friendly reminder that, once again, I have no idea what I'm doing. Am I drawing this character right? I have no idea. So yeah, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII. I just reached Costa del Sol after grinding to get Yuffie as early as possible. In this version, in the Switch version, they also added a 3x speed button, which made grinding for money and Yuffie a lot less painful. I think I'm nearly level 20. Yeah, I know my Cloud is level 19, so the others are around 18, 17. For this playthrough, I plan on actually beating the game. There have been plenty of time, like with Final Fantasy VI, I've reached the final boss, but I never actually... Like, I've reached it, but I didn't actually beat him. Gonna make his mouth a little smaller if possible. So that's one of the plan. The other plan is to have to get Eris, all of Eris's limit breaks before the inevitable happens. Oh, my elbow! Crick, crack, crack. And preferably get the materials. The best materials. Like, every time I think about getting all the materials as much as possible, I keep thinking to that, I think it was called Great Materia in the spaceship, where you have to input some buttons as Sid, if I'm not mistaken. That one I always struggle with, so I'm kind of hoping I get it this time. Would be nice. I still remember when, like, there was this big fandom fight on which Final Fantasy was better, 6 or 7. And I like both. I just like both. Scott Traveler. You could say that. There's that frickin' blue soldier. I've been trying to assign that soldier to one of my bots, and it would never work, and now somebody shows up, and it actually works. So congratulations on getting a rare drop, apparently. Oh, speaking of rare drops, we have a fairy going on. For those who like to play, the command to try to catch the fairy is jump. But to make it easier, I'm going to drop a couple for the ones that want to grab some. I keep calling them fairies. I should remember the actual name. I played the game so much. They're sylphs. Now we're gonna take off all the extra pencil. A lot of people use kneaded erasers as a rubbing eraser. You can do that, but me, I like to use it like this because I know I'm going to be inking this thing. I need a drink. It's cherry Kool-Aid, people. I mean, I just had McDonald's for lunch, so of course with all the salt I consumed, it's normal that I'm thirsty. Of course, because it's a color challenge, the colors are gonna look weird, but that's the fun of it. Oh, it's delightfully neon. I'm getting flashbacks to high school. Of course, this is my first time drawing Scott Traveler. Not to wait for people that gonna watch the recording of this screaming at me, "It's Scott Pilgrim!" I know! But now I feel like calling Scott Traveler the entire time. Wait, is that a... Okay. It kind of sounded Christmassy for a minute, then we don't do Christmas music if it's not Christmas. Ouch. I think I just, yep. Got myself in the thumb. I'm gonna wait for the pattern here for now because I'm gonna see if I can fill in the background with a solid color and then put the pattern on, or else, like, even if the chameleon liners are very, very, very good with Copics, it would give them a better chance if I let them dry first before I apply a pattern with them. Give them a chance and all that. And while we let Scott dry, we're gonna get back to Keto-chan. Finish him up. I mean, these liners dry really quick. But better safe than sorry, you know? Cadmium yellow is a really pretty yellow. Then we're gonna work on the other colors while Kero dries, so I can then shade him. Oops. There we shaded. Color the other stuff, but not all of it. Just one of the things. Just one. Don't want to exaggerate after all. Sprinkles. As you can see, the more layers I do, the darker it gets. And this is what we want, and that's why when shopping for alcohol markers the first time around, you want to get some of the paler colors. Not necessarily the palest, because then you'll have to layer and layer and layer and layer forever and ever. But get some pale colors, because then you can layer them like this to get some shading without having to buy another color. Good afternoon, Sharon. Your card looks fantastic. Thank you, Paul. And welcome. Happy to see you. Get a bit of blender on the inside of his ear like so, which should lighten the color, which is what we want, and a little bit on his cheek too. And finally we're gonna do the shaky 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 to add a couple more shines here and there. We are limited in color, and of course I can't exactly shade the white areas properly because all the colors are too bright. Doink. There you go. All kind of cute little stuff like that. And there we have it for Keto. Now we can go for the next card. Which I just realized I forgot to ink. His little sweat. So we're just gonna wait a bit longer while he's on screen. It's not gonna take too long to dry. Gotta tell you, the finale of Cami Calamity was such a success. We've had outpouring of love for the story. So yeah, we're looking forward to starting over with the 5th episode this summer, at the end of the summer in August. I have a little tiny nubby eraser. I'm trying to use up my nubs before I get a new eraser. Because I know what kind of eraser I like. They're surprisingly hard to find. And it's literally like cheap from Wish vinyl eraser. It used to be the vinyl eraser, the studio brand vinyl eraser from the dollar store. And my nub just fell on the ground. There it is. And then they stopped carrying them. Then it took forever to find something else. Because when you don't have the right eraser, it also tends to pick up your ink lines too. So you want something that's hard on graphite, but gentle on ink. It's almost like my art has a skincare routine. Well, I slipped. Let's see if I can fix that. Yeah, it's fixed. And that's why the blender, even if it's called a blender, you don't blend with it, basically. I use it for corrections when I slip, because of course I slip. I'm an old lady, my hands are gonna shake. I see people are trying to jump. Give me a little second, folks, while I finish this sleeve, and I'll send out some silks so you guys can actually play. There you go. Have fun. People that are colorblind right now must be wondering, what the heck am I doing? see with the difference in the line art color, you get a different feel of the yellow of his hair from the yellow of his collar. Phew, what a workout. Holy shoot, you did jump a lot. From what I'm seeing from the score. I'm slip and sliding a lot today. Holy jeez. Shiro, calm down. You're not even on a timer. You can take the time you want. Who made the best jump song? House of Pain, Criss Cross, or Van Halen? That is a good question. I'm not that good in music, but Van Halen. Okay, that answers that question. Because I know I had one of the jump songs on my phone, but I'm using my phone to film right now. So I looked it up. Wait, which one did that one? Because what I have is a cover from Ninja Sex Party. So in my very limited opinion would be Van Halen. Hang on, I'm thinking. Where is it? Where is it? I hope it's you. Pretty sure it's you. Since the Cricut one is over at the... We're going to try to do a little something on camera. No wonder I'm struggling. Usually I use my rotary blade for this. We are going to try to do a little bit of airbrushing. I'm warning you though, it's going to get loud. Even if I have a really teeny tiny adorable air compressor, it's still an air compressor, so... And now we rub gently, because we want to be able to take it off when we're done. I say we're going to try because usually I stand the art up straight when I airbrush. So this is going to be a stream first. I'm not good enough to airbrush details, and anyway, the airbrush I'm going to use is not meant for details. It's going to be my Copic airbrush. Even if this takes a bit of time, I'm still going to do the other two prompts. Because here's what's going on. I don't have a big variety of liquid inks. Because I don't know for you, but I'm not making money. So I mostly use my Copic airbrush instead of my actual ink airbrush. And even with the best of intentions, sometimes it just doesn't do what I want it to do. But now it should behave because this is a fairly small piece. And this is a fairly small blade. Speak up if I get out of the camera. I'm focusing so I don't accidentally cut my fingers. But I will hear when you guys talk because there's that distinctive bleep. That tells me you guys are trying to tell me something. would use some liquid frisket for this, but I don't have any. The pen fucked up. I can't open my bottle of liquid frisket. It's not going well for me in the masking department. This little piece. Donk. And this whole area. I think this piece ended up being lifted regardless. Okay. I think we got everybody now. Yeah, we're good. Okay. We're just gonna do a little bit of setup. It's gonna get noisy. I apologize in advance. It might take a while too. Because the thing with airbrushing with Copic markers is you have to spritz it instead of just keeping your finger on it. How much pressure do you need to put on the blade to get through that plastic? Not as much as I make it look. I just have a heavy hand. Because it's plastic that is actually made to be cut. Because it's masking plastic. It's not really that thick. Now y'all gonna hear a rumbling, that's normal. I'm gonna take my iPad away from there. I don't want to get it covered in a fine mist. Oh dear. Yeah, I definitely need a better mask. And I'm gonna grab a paper one. I just took a look at the mask that I use usually when I airbrush, and the inside is blue. So yeah, that's not good. So yeah, drop a coin to your Witcher so she can get herself a decent mask for airbrushing. Alright, we're gonna see what happens, because like I said, usually I have it sticking up straight up. that's not gonna work. So hang on, people, I got an idea. I'm just going to try and move the camera so you guys can still see what I'm doing. Because that's the thing, the Copic gun does not like being horizontal. Oh, this is not going to be... Oh yeah, it does not want to. Come on. No? You really don't want to? You really don't. Whoop. Hope you guys don't have... Come on. Readjust. Tighten this. So you don't want to turn, huh? I'm thinking, you guys, I'm thinking. If I just do it like this. No, because then I have this right in the way. Okay, you guys can see like this. Okay, we got something working. There we go. Plus you guys get to see how a Copic airgun works. And the shape is why it's called an air gun. Trigger on top, just like a regular airbrush. What fits in a Copic airgun? That would be the classic Copic and the sketch Copic. Is that glitter was away from... Yeah, there's probably glitter. Oh, there it is. There's not going to be glitter on the card itself, obviously, but I use this to protect my surface when I do anything painterly or airbrushy or... Copic gun is cool. Glitter is the herpes of the craft world. It gets everywhere. Yes, it is. And yes, it does. But the nice thing is about this glitter is that it's paint. It's craft paint, actually. So that glitter stays the frick put. Keep that plugged in case I get another idea. Alright, we're just gonna try and readjust this a little bit. After experimenting, get the iPad back so and have my reference for the next cards. Oof. Well, now let's peel and see what happened. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? I think this is one of my more even jobs using the Copic gun. Where's my blade so I can also clean up that little bitty piece? And a 1. And a 2. Come on. And a tree. And there we go. We got a lovely background Scott. Now we can get to the third card. Now that we tried something and it looks good, at least in my eyes it looks good. If somebody else doesn't like it, well, what do you want me to do about it? Next. Okay, let's see. I don't need this. I'm done with this. There we go. Get back in here, you. And now you got to see me use my airbrush. Well, my air gun. I have an airbrush. It exploded everywhere, but I got an airbrush. Now this guy is going to be fun considering the colors I have. Oh. Hang on, I just heard a bloom. I gotta go check that bloom. But hey, if this character doesn't, like, really display the whole point of starting with shapes when drawing hair, I don't know what will. I think in this case maybe I should do a black line art. Should I or shouldn't I? Because ideally I would be using a brush end to do his texture. So black line art for this guy. Using my favorite lining pen. Or speaking of pressure earlier, I really gotta do like this really light touch because I don't know if you can see my nib. This is a rubbery like brush nib. So it will notice any amount of pressure I apply on it. It's very sensitive, don't you know? I didn't even attempt to pencil. I legit forgot. But at the same time, there's no real point in penciling every individual hair. Since I'm going to do that texture with the ink pen. Of course, when it comes to, pun totally intended, because that's what his name is, when it comes to hairy monsters, you don't have to draw every single individual hair. Or else you'll never be done. You can suggest hair by drawing some in specific spots. Now, if you really want to draw each individual hair to each their own, but it does tend to make the drawing busy if you draw every single hair, so try to suggest hair more than anything. When coloring by hand, it's also okay not to close your lines every time, because you're not going to be using a paint bucket tool, you're coloring by hand. So there's no chance of the paint spilling out to the canvas. I like how you draw fur. Thank you! I'm a big fan myself. I mean, I like drawing here to begin with, so I've had a lot of practice. So we're gonna leave Harry dry and switch to the last prompt. We're gonna try to figure out how we're gonna color Harry. He's probably gonna end up green. Now if I had that weird bleach that I had for my hair last time, it was a bleach that was intended to take out the red, and I had purple hair and I was trying to get my hair bleached, and I had like my normal brown hair at the roots and the dyed purple hair at the ends. And my sister got that bleach that said it takes out red, and boy did it take out red, because when we were done my roots were completely fine and untouched and still the normal dark brown, and the purple had turned a beautiful shade of blue. It was hilarious, honestly. Like, maybe if it had turned like into that shitty just bleached my hair and went to swim greenish bluish thing going on, but no, it was this beautiful brilliant blue. And I was like, hey. She was like, oh my god, what happened? wish this specific friend that asked for this character would play more games with simpler character designs. I just had to move my my iPad around so I can actually see what I'm doing. Coco that was just done saying that she likes the way I draw fur. There's some fur in this picture too, so she's gonna be double pleased. This one is going to need some penciling because this is not easy. Honestly, it looks like that character only has one whoops, sorry guys, one wing on their helmet. So I'm gonna put 2. Because it feels it balances better, honestly. Ah yes, focused music for when you're focused on doing shit. Am I following the actual pattern? No. Am I following any kind of patterns? No. Do I have any idea what I'm doing? No. Did that ever stop me before? No. You guys can't tell, I have the neck of my flexible lamp right up my nose. Every time I look down, I'm touching it. Well, that was hard. Oh. I should run a kneaded eraser before I ink, or else we're going to have a mess for no reason. I've got to be careful, or else my iPad is just going to slide right off the desk. My desk is at an angle. In a desperate but futile attempt to save my back. I've been doing good though. Knock on wood, it's been roughly a month since I had a really bad back. I've had twinges here and there, but I usually stop as soon as I feel a twinge, so I don't mess up my back. This is going less painfully than I feared. have no idea who that is. It's from Elden Ring, I think. I already forgot the name because it was a super long name. And as you can see, it's a very detailed character, so it's a super long art too. I heard bass, so I had to set up the speaker. After a few seconds, it got turned down, so either they're gonna blast it or they're afraid. Preferably they're afraid, because just like you, I'm kind of really sick of your neighbors fiddling with the bass. Alright. While we wait for What's Her Elden face to dry, we can get started on Harry. Just gonna be careful because even if this ink dries pretty fast, sometimes on the heavier areas, like the eyebrows and the mouth here, it's not always super dry. But at least I have an eraser for that if I accidentally smudge. It's an eraser that I bought to be able to do some special effects with my screen tones. I haven't touched my screen tones since last year. But it's what they call a sand eraser. And as the name implies, there's sand in it. Tone eraser. But it is called a sand eraser, even if this one is labeled tone. I don't know if you guys can see, there's some slight sparkling going on in there. That's the sand. And it can remove ink smudges. Of course, it's going to scratch the paper too, so the ideal would be to not smudge the ink. I really don't use the other end all that often. I always prefer using the smaller one. What they call the bullet nib. I had a big dinner, lunch, however you guys call it. Us is dinner. Breakfast, dinner, supper. So what you guys would have breakfast, lunch, dinner. Better. At least I can section Harry, which I'm apparently turning into Oscar because of my color limitations by section, which will be easier to get some sort of evenness when it comes to Copic markers. Like, I'm a professional, but I'm not an expert, so I still get blotchiness when coloring with Copics, which is why I prefer the brush nibs compared to the broad nib or the bullet nib. Because I find I can get a more even coverage with that specific type of nib. At least Harry's face is sectioned off quite nicely, so I can do it section by section without it being too blotchy. Of course, as with every time I do these challenges, these cards will be put up for sale on my Ko-fi shop. My links appear enough in the chat that you guys know where my Ko-fi shop is by now. Also, speaking of shops, I finally closed down my Etsy shop. I was basically paying for no reason. And they had decided to make the fees even higher. And I was like, it's just not worth it. So pretty much everything handmade is on my Ko-fi shop. They don't make me pay a fee. They do make me pay a subscription. My gold had expired last month, so I decided to go ahead and get myself another year of Ko-fi gold, so I can keep all my cool stuff. You know, I know who Harry Monster is. I don't remember his gimmick. I should look it up after. Ah, ADHD, quand tu nous tiens. I can get away with texture on Harry because, well, he's Harry. So of course I'm going to put his tongue and his nose pink, and I'm going to fill up the background with the yellow. The yellow is a brush nib, so I don't think I'm going to need the airbrush for this one. It's going to be nice and even, and there's not that much to cover. when doing the shading, don't be afraid to incorporate texture whenever you can. So like that your hairy monster doesn't end up looking too flat. Like, trust me, when doing shading on texture, you want to continue the texture with the shading and not shade flat. Come on. I definitely did good to give him black line art. Another thing I could have done with this color set would have been to use highlighters. I could have done that. I mean, the colors are clearly very bright. And I do have highlighters. I figured, you know what, not this time. Add a little, come on, bit more shading over here. I can't really super put any shading in his eyes, because if I do that I risk making him look like he has jaundice. The other colors would be way too dark. There we go, we're done with Harry. Now we're gonna hang him up, gonna have another sip, gotta keep hydrated, and then we'll finish with what's her face. I almost tripped. I almost missed my chair as I was sitting back down. Oh, it's about time we finish this. What do you guys think? When I start losing my balance, maybe I'm a little too tired. Or drunk. Except I'm not drunk, I swear this is cherry Kool-Aid. I love this thing. I usually like to shade my gold with green. It makes it a little more different from bronze. Hang on, itchy ear. Harry turned out beautifully, so fluffy. Thank you. I'm a big fan of fluffy stuff. Where's my blender? I'm gonna blend some highlights, and then I'm going to sharpen those highlights with a Posca pen. So of course we're gonna do the shaky, shaky, shaky again. It's important to do the shaky shaky because you don't want your Posca to be too liquid. And I'm calling this one done. Gonna grab this. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go plug my iPad, and then we are going. No, you know what? I'm going to do the overall look to the 4 cards, and after I'm going to plug my iPad, so you guys have something to look at while I'm gone. There we go. I'll be right back. Enjoy. So while I pick up my compressor, we have Keto-chan from Cardcaptor Sakura, Scott Pilgrim, Harry Monster from Sesame Street, and this one character. She's something, the Blade of Miquella, which I think is from Elden Ring. I don't know, I don't play Elden Ring. I literally spent half the the live telling you about the original Final Fantasy VII, so yeah. But yeah, I think I did a good job. Pretty happy with it all. So we are going to the end screen. So of course, as with every end of stream, we are going to give extra special caramel drizzle thanks to my supporters, Amber Beach, FB, Paul K, Miss Innovis, and David F. Your continued support is immensely appreciated. I'm starting to get caught back up with the wallpapers. I posted like March's wallpaper, I think, a couple days ago. If you guys want to go get it, Well, the ones with the wallpaper tears, at least. And during this week, I'll be working on the other two, last month's and this month's. And of course, there's going to be the usual Bootleg Cookie live stream tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. So, thanks for the awesome show sharing. You're welcome, Paul. You always like my shows. So I don't think I have to ask if you guys liked watching me draw this, but I know I had a lot of fun drawing it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you all, and bye-bye.